Hello everyone, it's the beginning of October, which means that I definitely don't know what anyone in my family is going to be for Halloween yet. It was so much easier when I had one little pumpkin to just put her in her sweet little outfit. But now that I have kids ranging in age from middle school down to baby, it is so much more difficult to come up with costume ideas for everyone. And I am not a mom who excels at costumes. So if you have cute ideas for family costumes, please leave them in the comments because I can use all the help I can get. Now, one of the events that you might get invited to this year is Trunk or Treat, and if you're not familiar, Trunk or Treat is similar to regular trick-or-treating, except instead of being in a neighborhood and knocking on people's doors, people line up their cars in a parking lot and you decorate the trunk of your car and the kids go from trunk to trick or treat. You might be wondering if it's overwhelming, is it chaotic? Is it worth it giving up an evening, which sometimes is in addition to Halloween, because sometimes Trunk or Treat is on a date that's not October 31st? The answer is definitively yes. It is worth it to dress them up and to go trick-or-treating at people's trunks. The reason is that you get a lot of bang for your buck at this event. You have to walk many fewer steps between each car than you would going from house to house. Also, if it's at a school or a church, or somewhere in your town, a YMCA, somewhere where you're gonna know people, it is actually fun socially for both kids and parents. Another question that you might have is it worth it to decorate your trunk if you're not especially artsy or creative? I'm gonna say that I definitely fall into this category. And again, I will say definitively yes, it is achievable. The first year that, actually the first 2 years that we went to Trunk or Treat, we went to one that started on the earlier side. You could arrive around 5 or 5:30. So when I got there with my kids, my older kids were all little at the time. My husband was still at work, so I decorated the trunk by myself before he was able to get there. And actually it was doable. I just put my youngest, who was a baby at the time, in his stroller. And then the other two helped me decorate. So we didn't go overboard. We came up with themes that were achievable and my kids had fun helping. And it was definitely a fun experience that was not overwhelming. Now, another question that people might have, they might say, I don't typically do Halloween. Maybe if you are a Christian or some other religion that doesn't necessarily endorse Halloween, you might not want to participate. It is a Halloween activity, so if you just don't do Halloween, this may not be the event for you. I will say that my family and I don't do anything scary. We don't have any costumes or do any decorations that would in any way glorify something evil. If you're with the general population, there may be kids dressed up as something scary. You can't control people's costumes, but I have seen some venues where if it's through some kind of a church or a Christian organization, they will specify no scary costumes. So if you want to do something fun with candy, but you don't want to do anything that's too Halloween-ish, you may be able to find that depending on what's available in your community. I have seen churches that host trunk or treats, and some people will do Bible-themed trunks like Noah's Ark, or sometimes it'll be a cute play on words, like their trunk might be pirate treasure, but then they'll have a quote about your treasure being in heaven. Some of the themes that we've done in the past are Under the Sea, The Secret Garden, and since I'm a graduate of Villanova University, Villanova basketball. I have a list of some simple tips to make the evening go more smoothly. Now, I have to tell you, the first time that my kids and I attended a trunk or treat, we set up our car and the first family came over to trick or treat, and a dad said, "Are you teachers?" Because this was at a school. And I said, "No, we're just parents who volunteered for this." And he said, "Oh, so you're just really cool parents?" And I have to tell you, that is the one and only time that I have ever been accused of being a cool parent. Number one is that if you have kids, prep them with Halloween etiquette ahead of time. I know that might sound silly, and I know that's so stereotypically American to even have Halloween etiquette, because I know we make a bigger deal about Halloween than other countries do. But I have noticed that in recent years, a lot of kids, when they come to your door, they don't say trick or treat, and a lot of kids don't say thank you. We were taught these things as kids, and we might assume our kids know them. But I mean, there have been many times when I've had to tell my children, oh, you have to say thank you for any number of reasons. And Halloween is no exception. Number 2, bring a strong bag or multiple bags, because your kids are probably going to get a lot of candy in a short amount of time, and we always run into a problem where their bags get a little heavy for them, especially if they're younger. So I might empty some of their candy into another bag and then hand them the bag back so that they can walk around to a few more cars and get a few more pieces of candy. Another thing is that if you're handing out candy, this is tip number 3, bring more candy than you think you need. I have never been to a trunk or treat where the other parents aren't saying to me, I ran out of candy and I had to start taking my kids' candy and handing out that candy. These are really popular events. Just be prepared, even if you hand out 1 piece per kid, that you may get a huge flood of children. So bring more candy than you think you need. Tip number 4 is bring some non-edibles for kids who have allergies, or for your kids who maybe want the fun of trunk or treat but who just don't prefer candy. So I always have a separate bucket with fun little toys that they can choose from, so that they have an option for kids who have nut allergies. Some kids, I think, can be allergic to chocolate, wheat allergies. There are all kinds of allergies that come up now. So it's always a good idea to have, I think, a candy bucket and then a non-edible bucket. Another tip I would say is that you can keep it simple. Definitely don't feel like you have to go all out unless you're really at trunk or treat to win a prize. If you're really, really into Halloween, it's okay to do something really simple. I've seen people open up their trunk and decorate it with pumpkins and hay bales. You can do something that's super simple. The kids really don't care. They love the variety of all the different trunks. It's really fun to see the ideas people come up with, but you don't have to get expensive. I usually try to use leftover party supplies, and I use that to decide what theme we're going to do. My son had a dinosaur party a couple years ago, so I think we might do a dinosaur theme this year. Another thing to keep in mind is that it's going to get dark. You might start when it's light up, but by the time the evening is over, it will probably be very dark. And if you are out in a parking lot that doesn't have sufficient lighting, you will want to have some flashlights with you, and you may want to also have some lighting as part of your display in your trunk. I have seen people use the interior lights of their car to light up the area, but that gets me to my final tip, which is make sure that your car battery does not die. I have definitely seen families pack up their car, and as they go to drive away, the car battery dies because they've had their lights on for the last 2 or 3 hours, and then the battery's dead. So keep that in mind. Bring some extra flashlights. I hope that you have so much fun during this fall season. And if you want to stay updated, don't forget to subscribe. So I hope that you will like and subscribe, and take care.